welcoming OCC Chancellor Peter Provenzano Jr. to the podium.
Thank you very much, Nick. You really appreciate it. And I've been doing a little networking around the room and have all these business cards, which is kind of interesting. Normally people do not write things in the back of their business card before they get to, you know? And I'm just kind of reading these, and it says, Eunice, we need to talk about her. Eunice, she still works for you guys? I can't read this one out loud, so we're just kidding. Thank you, Eunice, for warming them up. I appreciate that. And as Nikki mentioned, my name is Peter Provenzano, Chancellor at Oakland Community College. And yes, this isn't real. These are my cards. So you're still hired. You're still employed. And it's a pleasure to be here. And let me see if I can coordinate holding the mic, flipping my pages, and the screen, which is over here, where it was. There we go. Do you know that we are almost 60 years young? So in 2025, we're actually going to be celebrating our 60th, we say anniversary, I kind of like to say 60th birthday. And since our existence in Oakland County in 1965, over 1 million students have passed through our hallways. And so we've been just a huge part of the community for almost 60 years now, which we're really very proud of. And we're really very proud of our partnership and our presence here in Waterford Township. In fact, we actually, and you hear me talk about this every year, it's something that we're really proud of. We actually enroll more Waterford graduates than any other college in the state of Michigan. And actually, when you look at the countywide, we are the number 2 choice, slightly behind a bigger school. Any idea who that school is?
Go Green.
Go Green, yes, Michigan State. So Michigan State and OCC are the top 2 college destinations for Oakland County. But we actually have more Waterford students that come to OCC than any other college. And as a vital part of the community, we train the majority of the county's first responders. And we're really excited because for a while, you know, there's such a need in all of the different communities for first responders. And we've done, I think, a much better job under the leadership of Dave Cece, Dean Dave Cece, and really creating that pipeline of talent to supply the needed first responders. In fact, the last year, we actually added a 3rd Basic Fire Academy class. And so one of the things I love to say is if you call 911 in Oakland County, Michigan, chances are either the dispatcher or EMS or the firefighter, police officer, maybe even the nurse at the hospital that responds was trained at OCC, and we're really very proud of that. And all of this training, our academies are located at our Auburn Hills campus, but Waterford Township is a great partner with all of our training that we do at our academies. In fact, the Waterford Township Police Chief, Scott Underwood, we could have made the picture a little bit bigger for you just to embarrass you, but we tried to be a little conservative there. But Scott Underwood was actually our keynote speaker at our December graduation, so appreciate him participating. And in this last year, the township actually hired 8 of our graduates as their police officers. So we're very, very pleased about that as well. We're also a partner. I know Eunice had asked if there were any business professionals here, business owners, and several hands went up. We're also a partner with Oakland County businesses. We have a robust menu of training options, and we also have the ability to customize training if there isn't a option that we've already designed for you. And because of this, we are actually the largest recipient of MNJTP funds, which, what does that really stand for? It's Michigan New Jobs Training Program. And this program allows community colleges to provide training to employers that are creating new jobs or expanding their businesses. And the key here is this training is free to the employer because it's actually paid for by the state by capturing state income taxes that are generated from those new employees. And we also have a 5-week, something you might be interested in on this slide, we also have a 5-week apprenticeship program at our Auburn Hills campus, which is also a free opportunity. And this is where we really walk alongside the students. We prepare them for the workforce by interviewing, giving them interview prep skills, resume writing assistance, as well as performing mock interviews, because that's something that just typically is not taught in the classroom. And so we really think that those social skills are important to train the community on. Now, this last fall, we announced a plan for the future. And the reality is the world is changing. The world has always been changing. But one of the things that I always talk about is during the pandemic, that change really accelerated. And I think we all feel it in this room. No matter what industry or at home, just in life in general, things have changed so much during those couple of years. And we saw a lot of these changes coming, but during the pandemic, it was really accelerated. And so OCC is no different, but I'm really proud that I think we're ahead of the curve, because we sat down and we looked at the landscape out there and the forces of change and said, as we start to celebrate our 60th birthday, how do we prepare the college for the next 60 years? What does the next 60 years look like? Well, 60 years is kind of far to go out, but let's start thinking about the next 5, right? The next 10 years. And what we decided was we need to adjust. Just like society is trying to deal with all of these changes, we really need to adjust how we do things. And so what I'm talking about is, I refer to it as future-proofing OCC to ensure a bright future. Now, what does future-proofing mean? Future-proofing is to design or change something so that it'll continue to be useful and successful in the future if things change. That's future-proofing. And I think we're really ahead of the curve on future-proofing OCC, and we came out with a plan for the future. And I'll walk through some of those elements of the plan. But first, I want to talk a little bit about what's driving that change, particularly in higher education. No big surprise. You probably read about this in the newspapers and on TV. Population is declining. There are fewer, Scott, I'm sure even at Waterford Township, you're experiencing decreases in enrollment. There are just fewer students out there. And so we're seeing fewer students that are available, that are in the pool to come to OCC, to come to higher ed. But what's really alarming, is of those that are actually graduating from high school, fewer of them are choosing higher education. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a really strong labor market out there. And that is a disincentive for students to come to school. And what do I mean by that? Well, they're looking at college and they're looking at the value proposition for it. And they're saying, well, if I earn a degree and I pay X amount of money for that degree, when I graduate, I will make $25 an hour. Or I can not go to school, work at Starbucks, and make 20. Well, when you're 18, 19 years old, I can speak for myself, I've been there, your thinking isn't always long-term thinking, it's very short-term thinking, right? And so this is really very short-term thinking, because we all know that with a degree or credential, when you look at your overall career, you're better off. You're more recession-proof, your employability goes up, as well as your earnings potential. And so you'll make more money over your career with a degree or credential than you will without it. And there's actually studies that show that differential really skyrockets after several years into your career. But if you look at when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, the difference in what you make is not that much. And so we're trying to get the word out that this is really short-term thinking and that students really need to invest in their future. But in the meantime, fewer students are choosing higher education. And while that is really worrisome to me, we're going to be dealing with it. But it's just something that we have to deal with in the meantime. And so there's a lot of skepticism about higher education. But the reality is the impact on OCC is this. Our top enrollment in 2011 was about 30,000 students. We have half that number of students. So even back in 2011, we were busy. Our campuses were full. We weren't busting at the seams. There was still some room in those buildings. But at our peak enrollment, we had half of the number of students we have today. And we have half right now the credit hours than we did back in 2011. And so that's putting a tremendous pressure on OCC and all of higher education. Actually, OCC is fared better than many of our counterparts around the state of Michigan. And what's magnifying the decline in the number of students that are choosing higher education is that our students are choosing online, especially since the pandemic. Over 50% of our students, 50% of our students are taking online classes. And the thing that I never really envisioned before the pandemic, I knew that was going to come. But what I didn't picture was that they would use our services online as well. So what do I mean by that? Counseling, financial aid, all of that we put online, and the students love it. So the reality is they love the flexibility of having those online options, those online services, and they're doing better because of it in many cases. Counseling, for example. Pre-pandemic, when all of our counselors were face-to-face, it was a 50% show rate. So that meant 50% of the time, when a student signed up for an appointment, they would actually show up, 50% of the time. Online, 90% of the time they show up. Students are actually taking more classes when they're able to complement their in-person classes with online classes, which is good because we know, studies show that if students take more classes, they're going to finish sooner, which means they'll actually complete, they're more likely to complete. And so this is good, but these are all realities that are driving change in higher ed and that OCC has to deal with. And so the conundrum, for OCC is that we have the most square footage of any community college in the state of Michigan. And I'm not talking about acreage. We have a ton of acreage as well. But this is square footage. We have over 2.2 million square feet of buildings that we maintain. So it's really easy for me to give this presentation and say, we have 2.2 million square feet of buildings. We have to think about that. What does that really mean? It's hard to wrap your head around that. I always explain it like this. Think of a 2,000 square foot home and the maintenance of a 2,000 square foot home. We have 1,000 of those that we maintain. And because of declining enrollment population and 50% of those students being online, a lot of those facilities are largely empty and they cost a lot of money to operate when students are not in them. And it really doesn't provide for a great environment for students or employees because when you spread fewer people out over a large distance, obviously it's just a little spooky. It doesn't really create that energy or that sense of place. And so we came out with a plan, a multi-point plan to address all of these things. And you can take a look at our website, and after this presentation, I'd be more than happy to go into more of the details of the plan. But it really touches on the future. It talks about doubling our graduation rates, our completion rates, a lot of student success initiatives, and facility improvements that we're going to make. But one of the pieces of the plan, the large component of the plan that I want to talk about today, is really addressing that footprint, right? So having so much space that's largely empty because our students are all online, we had to make some really, really difficult decisions. And so in the fall, we came out with the announcement that we would sell and move out of our district office, which is located in Bloomfield Hills. It was in dire need of improvement. When we looked at the cost to improve it, it just didn't make sense. And I really felt like we needed to be on the campus anyway. We had all of this space on the campuses. Why renovate or buy or build a new district office? Let's move people to the campuses, because I always felt we really lose touch at the district office when we're away from our students, when we're away from our team members. And so we made that announcement. We're in the process of selling the district office in Bloomfield Hills and moving out of that. But one of the harder decisions that we had to make, after spending a lot of time just gut-wrenching conversations, is we made the announcement that we would also move out and sell our Highland Lakes campus here in Waterford. And the reason that we chose that was it is one of our largest campuses with the fewest students. So when you look at the square footage per student, it was the highest. And we had to, again, look at ways to decrease our footprint, because it is better for our community, it is better for our students as well as our employees. But we felt really passionate about coming out early with this. And we felt that we needed to give the community, give the college community as well as our local communities as much time to digest it, to talk about it, to plan for it. And so we've actually made this announcement 3 years before we actually think we'll have scheduled last classes. And that gives our employees time to find something else within our operations. I'm trying to do this to the best of my ability through attrition and not letting anybody off. But it also allows us to have the conversations that we're having with Waterford Township under Gary Wall's leadership, to look at this property and put together to say, how can we ensure that it continues to contribute to the quality of life of Waterford Township the way that it always has. Many of you may not know this, but this property actually used to be a hospital for tuberculosis patients for many, many years. When that was no longer needed, OCC took it over. And we will have it for almost 60 years. And now it's time for that property to give back to the community in just a different way. And so we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of time to explore different ideas, explore different options. Because you haven't heard me say this already, but you'll hear me say it now. This is our reputation, what we leave behind. It's very important to me that someday, when I go back to that property I drive by, I look at this and say, wow, it's even better than when we owned it. That's what I want to be able to say, and it's important that we continue to have that presence in the community in some way. And so the future is really very bright. The college is really, I think, ahead of the curve. You're going to see a lot of other higher education institutions look at data and have the courage to do the things that OCC is doing, to say, how do we position our organization for the next 60 years? And I think you're going to start to see them talk about reducing their footprints as well. In fact, I've had other community colleges and universities, presidents call me and say, so tell me a little bit about this plan and how you went about doing this, because they're really faced with the same types of situations. But the reality is we could not do this without the leadership of our board of trustees, who have had the courage to work with us to make these very difficult decisions and to ensure that we continue to be a part of the community for the next 60 years. And community is so important to them, and that's why we have 3 of them that are joining you here this morning. We have our board chair, I'll ask you maybe to wave or stand up, whatever your pleasure is. We have our board chair, Pam Jackson, that's joining us. Pam. Kathleen Bertolini, who is our vice chair. And Susan Gibson, who is our secretary of the board. Thank you for being here. And I want to, I want to thank all of you in this room for your continued support of OCC. It's a pleasure to be here to present to you this morning. I'll be sticking around after all the presentations are done to answer any questions you may have or just catch up. So without further ado, I'll hand it back over maybe to Nikki. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Peter. I know many of us are sad to hear the news about Highland Lakes, but we're so grateful for your continued work with Waterford, the impact you've made here, and the impact that you will continue to make with all of our students, so thank you. All right, next up, we have Scott Lindberg, the Superintendent of Waterford School District, going on 4 years now. Scott's forward-thinking leadership has brought about many successes for the district, including historic investments in curriculum and developing an aggressive strategic plan that has set the district on a path of new achievement and limitless possibilities where the future is bright. When he isn't serving in his role as superintendent, Scott likes to spend time with his family, which includes 3 daughters, a son-in-law, 2 grandsons, and his wife of 32 years, Christy. Welcome to this podium, Scott.
Good morning, everyone. First, I wanted to let's give another round of applause for CJ, our singer from Kettering. CJ is also a part of the drama club at Kettering and has participated in several musicals. Additionally, CJ is a member of the Tri and Music Honor Society. CJ was recently invited to participate in a studio art show workshop at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and he hopes to study video game design post-high school. CJ is a fine representation of why the future is bright here at Waterford School District, which I will talk more about here in a few minutes. But first, again, good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you in person before the ice storm hits and to share the good news of the Waterford School District. But first of all, what we do in Waterford, what we do in the school district, is more we than me. So I would like all of my colleagues who are here, district leadership, board members, to stand, and let's recognize them this morning. You guys can all stand. Board members, So today, I want to spotlight how bright our future here at Waterford School District. We started using our Future is Bright theme occasionally last year, but have moved full steam forward with it since then, as we feel it fully captures the current spirit of our district. To me, when we say the future is bright here at WSD, it means we are celebrating everything that is positive about our students, staff, and community, while also looking forward to the future with purpose and focus. In fact, let's take a look at some Waterford School District Future is Bright facts. Last year, we had 35 graduates with a 4.0 GPA or higher. And if you can believe this, that class was offered over 5.7 million, yes, you heard that right, 5.7 million in scholarships. Our athletic programs continue to be highly competitive. So far this year, Kettering Wrestling won a conference championship. Mott Football again qualified for the playoffs. And we have several all-region and all-district athletes and 4 all-state athletes. However, the best part about our athletic department is the overall GPA of our student athletes, which is over a 3.0. Last year, there were a total of 4 academic all-state teams. And this year, we already have 2 that have been named, Kettering Boys Soccer and Kettering Football. In fact, in the fall of 2022 alone, nearly 50% of our eligible varsity student athletes earned the All-Conference Scholar Athlete Award. Very impressive indeed. Waterford School District continues to be known for its amazing fine art and performing art program. A Mott choir student auditioned and was selected to be a member of both the regional and state level honors choirs, which is a very prestigious group. The Kettering Drama Club was one of the only 2 schools chosen to perform the production of Puffs at this year's Michigan Educational Theater Association's State Theater Festival. The Mott Marching Band took 3rd place in Class A, and the Kettering Marching Captains took 1st place in Class B at the Troy High School Scholastic Marching Band Invitational. 4 Kettering and 8 Mott art students received high honors from the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards and will have their art displayed in the annual show. Over 4,500 pieces of art were submitted, but only 1,100 works make it into the show for display. These facts are just a small sample of the students' achievements this year, but are great examples of why the future is bright here at Waterford School District. The future is bright also is linked to our 5-year strategic plan, which plots our district direction by setting priorities and mobilizing key resources to ensure all stakeholders are working towards the same goals. It is our roadmap for data-driven continuous improvement. One example of our strategic plan applied to real-world applications and leading to tangible results is the comprehensive investment we have made to our curriculum. Since the summer of 2020, so just 3 years, we have invested approximately $3.4 million in our curriculum. That speaks volumes as to where our priorities lie. Just a couple of examples include K-12 English Language Arts curriculum and a new math program for K-5. And this year, we have continued to invest in teaching and learning. We are offering new curriculum for enrichment and intervention courses in grades 6-8, high school science, and updating and aligning our social studies curriculum in grades 6-12. And as always, we have a continued commitment to common assessment, test preparation, and plenty of thorough professional development for our staff. Now, a real exciting thing that we kicked off this year was our one-to-one initiative. Who would have thought a few years ago that we would be able to do this in Waterford? Yet we've done it. This is where all K-12 students received a Chromebook to be utilized at school and home throughout the year. We are thrilled to be growing together through our teaching and learning practices to effectively implement these important tools in our classrooms. We knew that the Chromebooks would be valuable assets to our students. What we didn't realize is that they would also help us in other ways too, such as saving time on testing and allowing for deeper collaboration between teachers and students, as well as peer-to-peer. We also implemented the problem-based learning teaching style back in 2021. This continues to pay dividends as our K-8 students are immersed in real-world and personally meaningful learning. Students work on a project over an extended period of time, from a week up to a semester, which engages them in solving real-world problems or answering a complex question. As a result, students develop deep content knowledge as well as critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication skills. Now, our STEM robotics offerings continue to promote hands-on learning, whether students want to engage during the school, such as through our high school level STEM academy, or after school in our various STEM clubs. These clubs often afford our students opportunities to participate in statewide and national competitions. For example, this year, our VEX Go STEM Lab team from Schoolcraft Elementary, led by 4th grade teacher Ashley Prue, went to Lansing and were even featured in an article written by the Oakland Press. These kinds of experiences cannot be replaced and are extremely valuable for all of our students. You may be surprised to learn the Waterford School District offers more high-achieving courses than the vast majority of school districts in the area. We currently boast 15 advanced opportunities courses for our students, as well as over 10 elective options that further support advanced learning, such as our various honor societies. An example of the advanced opportunities we provide is our partnerships with many colleges, namely Oakland Community College, where our students are allowed to dual enroll to receive college credits for free while in high school. You can't beat that type of head start when going out into the real world, and there are many partnerships that allow this to happen for our students. Now, of course, just as important as working on the academic side of learning is to ensure our students are getting the proper social and emotional supports they need to thrive as well. And Peter, I believe last year you made a joke that the only thing that could make our presentation cuter is if we had a picture of a few puppies and dogs. Well, here you go. This year we started introducing social emotional dogs in some of our schools, as they can help bring comfort to our students and staff. We have also expanded our student and family engagement department. This is incredible. This is innovative. And really, we need to give credit to Lisa Eldridge. This was your brainchild many years ago, and you've grown. So this SAFE team specializes in helping students with social, emotional issues that impact classroom achievement as a whole. The team holds dynamic interventions and implements creative strategies such as a district-wide spelling bee, elementary basketball tournament, or by offering parenting strategies to our families. It's no secret that in almost every industry, it is difficult to find workers. The education field is no different. This year, we deployed a variety of methods to entice staff to apply. Everything from the traditional raising of wages and offering great benefits to the unconventional of sending our singing bus driver out on the circuit to see if she could drum up some applications. We don't have time to show you the video today, but Google Lynette Bright. Lynette Bright. If you haven't seen the video yet, it was pretty amazing, and we received statewide media coverage on that one. In order to keep that momentum going, we recently launched our Waterford Why video series, which promotes first-hand testimonies from WSP employees about why Waterford School District is the place to work, develop, and flourish as a professional. So right now, there are 6 of these videos, and we'd like to show you one of them now.
I am the proud principal of Waterford Durant High School, and I am embarking upon my 2nd year in Waterford School District. I have never been with the district in my 20-plus year career that has been so supportive, that has been so visionary, with boots to the ground from the top all the way down to the classroom, students, and families. I feel tremendously supported. I feel it an honor and a pleasure to serve this community, and I'm just happy to be to a place where they talk about students, they put them at the forefront of everything, and it's not just spoken in the actions. We show that we are here to educate, inspire, and empower. students, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
So right now, there's 6 more of those videos on our website, but really engaging our staff to tell the story of why Waterford School District is a great place to be a part of. So, talking about infrastructure, I want to move there. In 2020, this community generously passed a $150 million bond that now allows us to be able to update our facilities. Part of that bond, the crown jewel, is the new $30 million Stefanski Early Childhood Center. When we met last year, construction had not yet started, but we have moved quickly since then. In April, we broke ground, and then this past December, we held a topping out ceremony where leadership from the school district joined with the construction crew to celebrate the last beam of the structural steel being placed on the roof. As we walked to the spot where we were to sign the beam, I couldn't believe how much progress had been completed. And we're expected to be ready to open with students in the fall of 2024. Now, another way we've been investing in our infrastructure is last May we underwent a security site assessment. I'm proud to share that SEC, the company which provides safety and security expertise to school districts all over the country, reports Waterford School District is in the top 10% of schools nationwide in developing and executing a comprehensive safety and security plan. WSD has been at the forefront of school security for a number of years and continues to take proactive steps to protect the safety of all students and staff members. And if we could, I would like to have and thank our partnerships with all of our police officials, our fire officials. They help us every single day. Could you stand? We'd like to thank you for your partnership. Thank you very much. It is truly a very, very important partnership that we appreciate every single day. So I really should have started this speech by thanking all of you, because this past fall, our Waterford community passed the non-homestead millage renewal and restoration we had placed on the November ballot. However, I fully understand that being a member of a community is not a one-way street, and it requires both sides to come to the table to work together for the betterment of those we serve. As a testament to that, Waterford School District has made great strides this past year in re-engaging with our local community after the pandemic caused us to pull back a little bit. I spent a lot of time this past fall meeting with many of our local community members, and I thoroughly enjoyed reconnecting. WSD has actively engaged with the Chamber of Commerce, sponsoring and participating in many of the wonderful events, such as this event here today, the Summer Concert Series, and the Business Expo. Plus, we will be hosting a Perking Up event in early September this year. And next month, hosting our first ever Waterford School District Community Connection Breakfast as a chance for local community organizations to get together and to hear the positive news of the district, plus network and share community forward ideas with one another. As a school district, parent engagement is also obviously very important. This year, we restarted our district parent council. We have 1 to 2 parent representatives from each school, and we get together to share resources and ideas on how to continuously improve and enhance Waterford School District. I have found the time with these parents immensely helpful, and I hope that you do. If you haven't yet and are interested in connecting with us, we have multiple outlets to do that. Our WSD Connect community newsletter, our WSD Voice podcast, which is also now available on YouTube in video format, and of course, any of our social media outlets. The math is simple. When you have a strong community, bolstered by a strong school district, there is nothing we can't accomplish together. And with that, I'm going to play one last video as a reminder about why we're here, our students, and why the future is bright here in Waterford School District.
I'm a senior at my high school, and at Mott, I'm involved in the National Honor Society, the National Technological Honor Society, Link Crew, and then DECA.
My name is Liz. I'm a senior at Kettering this year, and I'm heavily involved in the performing arts at Kettering. I'm involved in the choir and theater programs, so I'm in every single choir that we have at the school, and I've also participated in every production that we've done the past 4 years.
So we moved from Nepal when I was about 8 years old. I joined Beaumont Elementary School, I think like October in like 3rd grade. And then I remember everybody was like really nice. They helped me fit in. I didn't know language very well, but the teacher, like the staff around me, they were patient with me until, you know, I got the hang of it, which was really nice. One thing I like here at Mott is that we're a very close-knit community, and that everybody is like nice to each other, and we all get along pretty well.
I'm proud to be a student at Waterford Kettering because the teachers and administrators here truly put me first, and I see that every day, and the way that they care for us and they care for our mental health. And I believe that all of the staff here does what they do for the right reason, and that's for the students.
I plan to go to college, hopefully major in pre-medical, and go to med school and become a doctor, hopefully.
So as of right now, Siena Heights University is like my top pick for college. I actually just received an $88,000 scholarship from them for the performing arts. And I plan to take a 4-year degree there for music education with a focus in choral music, and eventually become a music educator. I just want to stress that the teachers in Waterford are truly the most amazing people I know, and they made me who I am today, and I wouldn't be the person that I am without them. I feel like I've become a better person because of the teachers I've had at Waterford.
Waterford School District provides a lot of opportunities for like kids to, you know, pursue their whatever they want to do even after they leave Waterford.
How about those examples of our students? I believe that the state of our district, of our community, is strong because of all of you, our students, our families, our staff, and our quest for continuous improvement for all we do to support them all. Thank you so much.
And I can honestly say, as a Waterford alum, I'm proud of the talent that the schools are sending out into the world. Speaking of Waterford alums, lastly, I'm proud to introduce Gary Wall, our Waterford Township Supervisor. Gary takes immense pride in being a lifelong Waterford resident and 1972 graduate of Waterford Kettering High School. As a Corsair girl, he's probably the only person that can get me to say, "Go Captains." As your Waterford Township Supervisor for the last 10 years, Gary and his fellow board members and Team Waterford continue to work hard for the Waterford community to ensure our residents and business owners a bright and prosperous future. Gary is a regular donor, sponsor, supporter, and volunteer for a variety of community organizations. In his spare time, Gary enjoys the outdoors, where he spends time fishing and hunting with his grandchildren and maintaining his plentiful vegetable and flower gardens at home and at Town Hall. Gary and his beautiful wife Donna have been married for more than 48 years. They have 2 adult children and 3 grandsons, Zach Robinson and Gary and Sam Wall. Come on up, Gary.
I'll get my cheaters out here. Someday they'll learn not to hand a microphone to somebody in public office, because the last thing you want to do is give a politician a microphone. Well, It's not me, I'm not a politician, I'm just an elected position. Welcome everybody and thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I'll try and do this expeditiously to get us all out there moving. Scott, Peter, thank you guys for what you did today. You're a tough act to follow, see how I'll hold up, okay? Scott's already smiling, so it's not gonna go well. First off, let me start out by introducing my fellow board members who are present today. Clerk Kim Markey, Treasurer Steve Thomas, Trustee Marie Hosworth, Trustee Mark Monahan. Trustees Bartolotta and Matsura could not make it today. Our 51st District Court judges, Richard Cook, Todd Box. Judges. Waterford Police Department Chief Underwood and his staff. Waterford Regional Fire Chief Covey and his staff. And all of Team Waterford, who I affectionately refer to as our staff here at the Township, the boots on the street. Well, okay, as we know, there was redistricting that went on everywhere, including the voting districts here, everything right across the board. So redistricting changed representation at the state and local level. So State Senate District 7 and 23, Senator Jeremy Moss, District 7, Senator Jim Runstead, District 23. State House districts are now 52 and 53. State Rep Mike Harris, District 52. State Rep Brenda Carter, District 53. County Commissioner districts are now even numbers, 8, 10, and 12. Karen Joliet, District 8. Kristen Nelson, District 10. And Kristen Long, District 12. Thank you. This past year's elections in the fall of 2022, the library restored and renewed its millage, and Waterford Regional Fire Department have one of their millages renewed. And again, I reach out to the voting public of Waterford Township and tell you thank you for your support and supporting these valuable assets to our community. 2022, along with our 2023 budget and fiscal plans, are healthy, and they will continue to be that way, which is a good thing. Okay, finance news, Budget Stabilization Fund is fully funded. Imagine that. Okay, Retiree Healthcare Trust is the highest level that's ever been funded at 27.4%. I believe when I came it off, it was under 5%. So we've gone a long ways ahead of that. We have a AA bond rating here at the Township, which is the highest we've ever had as a chartered township, September 28, 1961. And again, our county has been 16 consecutive years Certificate of Excellence for financial supporting. Hats off to our budget staff, Derek Dietrich and Bart Miller. And Waterford received $9.2 million under the American Rescue Plan Act, also affectionately known as ARPA. The ARPA funds are allocated in 2 phases. They all must be allocated by the end of 2024, December 31st, and they must be expended by December 31st of 2026. Phase 1, we allocated $4.2 million, and it says behind me where that allocation went to, so I won't read it to you. SADs for some roads in 2022, the Waterford Township Board of Trustees voted to allocate $1 million for SADs to go towards matches for people redoing their subdivision streets. We've got 16 projects so far, got no signatures. We got one that's in phase 3, which is ready to go. That's Iris Drive. We're going to allocate the funding for that as soon as the road commission sends us the invoice on it. And we got another one that's in the hopper ready to go real quick. So that'll be 2, and everything starts summer. We got $1 million allocated to give 10% matches to the total cost of the project. And as I explained to people, not that people are dumb and can't do math, that's 10% off the top, and that's 10% you never pay a penny's interest on. So it's a significant savings. And if there's anybody out here, I'm sure if you want somebody to give 10% of your money, you take it in a heartbeat. So 10% is a significant help right there. Road projects, 2022, phase 2 of Walton Boulevard from Sashabaw Road to Clintonville Road was done. And that's of course because that's the stretch the Township Supervisor drives into work. So it only makes sense he would get that done with the township, right? Heard that a few times, honestly. I know it's humorous, but it wasn't when I first started, okay? Tri-party road projects were approved in 2023. The remainder of Walton Boulevard from Clintonville Road to the Pontiac Waterford line. And then we got Hill Drive and down from Walton Boulevard to the state boat launch over there. And then lands down this entire length of Williams Lake Road up to Hatchie Road. They're going to all be researched this year. RCOC will announce here in the near future projects for this year. Waterford will receive, the Oakland County has committed $2 million towards 21 townships in Oakland County to allocate funding towards road projects that they have. It could be resurfacing gravel roads, whatever it is, but the money will get expended accordingly. So hopefully a little bit of that can come our way and we can benefit from that too. As we committed to improving infrastructure, $100,000 in both 22 and 2023 budgets to repair and replace our pedestrian pathways. We have 189 miles of sidewalk system in Waterford Township with no allocated, dedicated funding towards it. So we put towards what we can, and we're also working, trying to get grants to help it out, plus we've allocated $1 million in ARPA funds towards it. Again, I know it sounds mean or unconscious, or you want to call it. Rather than expanding the system, we don't have the funding to maintain at this point. I want to get set up where we can get funding to maintain what we have before we expand any further. To me, it makes sense. There's no sense in creating more problems for the next generation 20 years down the road. They have to start replacing all that stuff. So we'll get it set up, get it going, and then we can go from there. Okay, by this fall, got the street lights in Waterford Township will be 100% LED, all street lights, subdivisions, main roads, secondary roads, primary roads, all be, and will we only be the 6th municipality in the DT Power District to have that done. We're only the 6th one to do that. So hats off to Waterford Township for getting that taken care of. We're currently working on our master plan. It's in the 20-year cycle to get that updated. We're working with an outside consultant and our township planner and residents, people's input, department heads, departments right across the board to make it work out. Because a 20-year plan, it's hard to look out 20 years. It's hard to look out 20 minutes from now what the weather's going to be like. But again, the 20-year plan, but again, you revisit it every 5 years, update it, and then you get an idea of where you're going to go and what you want to do and what you need to do. And then part of the joint board of members of the ZBA, Planning Commission, and the Township Board will have a meeting on the 28th to get back to where we're at on that, so that'll work good. And the plan will be finalized and adopted before the end of this calendar year, which is a good thing. The master plan process there, Congresswoman Haley Stevens helped Waterford Township apply for and secure $750,000 in grant funding towards what we refer to as our downtown district. We haven't established it yet, but the old downtown district of Drayton Plains, right in an area of Fremby's and Dixie Highway. So we've got funding for that. And again, like I said, we asked for 1.38 million, but we were allocated $750,000. That's still $750,000. I'm not balking at that. So that's a nice chunk of money to get towards put that. And again, that's facade improvements, wider sidewalks, landscape, lighting, benches, trash bins to help get rid of some of the litter. And like I said, Pocket Park, it just upgrades. And what it does, it's a sense of place for people to go and spend time together. So that's what we're working on, and hopefully we can get that up and running by the end of this calendar year or early in the next year. Waterford's still seeing plenty of development and redevelopment starting right over there at the old Sears site at the end of the north end of the Summit Hall property. Groundbreaking and underway construction for DTE Service Center. We have signs up there, and the buildings are farther along than what they are right there. So that's going to be good. And then I'm hoping with power outages, having DTE in Waterford Township now might help us a little bit. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that one there. And they'll bring 200 workers to the area, so again, they can frequent businesses and again, work in our community. Pennistar plans to build a new hangar and office space at the airport, which is critical, because understand that our airport is government property. We collect no taxes on the airport, but any physical structures on the property that aren't government owned bring tax revenue to the township. And there are some nice, expensive buildings over there, so hopefully they keep building and money keeps coming our way. Again, new residential being built on the former sites of the old Lotus Lake School at the first King Sub and the former Sandberg School on Mary Street. There's 2 lots over there that are supposed to be developed and built out by the end of this calendar year. On the north side of M59, just east of Crescent Lake, they demolished 2 buildings, and now there's a Starbucks being built there. It's, I see they finally got the glass in the building. It's getting down there. On Dixie Highway between Bremby's and Sashaba, the Genesis, former Genesis Credit Union was demolished along with the foot doctor's office that was there forever. He helped me get back walking again one time. And then they were demolished, and now a new Genesis Credit Union is being constructed there as we speak. So that's another, that's right in the downtown district we were just talking about there. The former Kmart, rather down Dixie on the same side, is underway and being redeveloped into multiple uses, including a market. And they're calling it Billy Bob's, and I've heard a couple of people say, well, that takes us back to Waterford. No, it doesn't. His boys are named William and Robert, so he named it after the boys, Billy and Bob, because growing up, kids are, you're not William, you're Billy, or you're not Robert, you're Bob, so it's Billy Bob. So he named it after his boys, so we're not Waterford. Not that it bothers me, because Kentucky is here in the United States. And like my dad said, some of the best guys he met going overseas in World War II from down in Kentucky. So it's, again, we're all American, we're all in this together. So, and again, so multiple businesses around the township have made exterior improvements. I mean, look at them. I mean, just these really, really, really look nice. Again, I wish Tony was here. He used his own Imperial Auto Wash, so. Okay, then we've got the medical marijuana update. We have 2 provisioning centers that are now open, Planet 59 and Quality Roots. Okay, our transportation, which is referred to as WOTA, Western Oakland Transportation Authority, Waterford, White Lake, Highland, and Walled Lake. Okay, as everybody knows, that the county had a village go by, a transportation village go by, so we're going to receive a little more than $3.4+ million for our 4 communities. That's to expand our system, which is right now residents 55 and older, senior citizens, or disabled physically or mentally adults 18 or older. But this will expand our system to add all riders, all people that need riders, 18 and older, regardless of your health. If you need transportation, it's available. So we're going to extend the hours, reduction in cost, 50 cents a ride for riders, and again, like I said, the addition of other riders that could go on that. Work on the Riverwalk continues. Everybody knows about the Riverwalk. If they don't, you need to go down there and see it. It's a wonderful place. But we're looking to finish the western side of the Riverwalk, come up along the Clinton River up to the home booth on Crescent Lake Road, and then head north on Crescent Lake Road down to Tubbs, go across right there on the north side of the church property, take that across till you get over into the plumbing sub, not the toilet bowl sub. I grew up there, so we called it the plumbing sub. The reason behind it is it's named after plumbing fixtures. And then the easement that goes down through there will take us over to the condo property. The condominium gave us an easement over there. The easement will take us down to the Clinton River, across the Clinton River into the Great Plains Nature Center, and that is 138 acres of parkland, and I'm amazed how many people don't know about it. You want to see something beautiful, go to the Great Plains Nature Center. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. And part of the engineering here, Oakland County got with us the Parks Division, the County Commissioners, and did a 3-way split with us on the $172,000 for the engineers. engineering design, they kicked in a 30, so that was very nice of them. Appreciate Oakland County's help on that. You want to help support the Riverwalk? We have a Just Ducky art exhibit coming up here. $30 a piece for the plywood rubber ducks to decorate. Okay, there's 108 ducks sold total, and they are selling out rather quick. So if you want to get one to decorate, do so. Get up, have it turned in by June 1st to the library or at Town Hall, and June 15th to September 30th. The display will be down there along the Clinton River Riverwalk, and it is really, really a fun event. All the proceeds go towards the Riverwalk itself. Scan the QR code or visit the Township website if you're looking for more information on that. Waterford continues to offer sustainable services to our community. We got monthly paper and recycling in Township Hall, the second Saturday, free shredding event every April, sponsored by All Saints Cemetery. No has collection, and listen to these numbers, because this is critical for a municipality. It has 34 lakes, the Clinton River running through it, the headwaters for the Huron River, and its own water system, okay? No has collection events for household hazardous waste. 555 Waterford residents participated in 2022. 41% of those were for the first time. Waterford residents got rid of 80,288 pounds of hazardous materials. And that's 4 events been scheduled again for 2023. 80,000 pounds of hazardous waste. And again, that stuff needs to go to a place where it's supposed to go. And that's why this is so critical that we participate in this and continue to participate in it. Curbside collection for recycling offered by GFL Environmental runs about $5 a month, so you can recycle. Waterford curbside GFL customers recycled 27 tons of recyclable material in 2022. And you know how much of that's plastic? You know how weightless plastic is? You can only imagine 2,700 tons of recycled. That's it. I mean, give it up for the residents of Waterford Township one time. That is huge. That is huge. So, keeping Waterford clean and protected. We're doing the annual Earth Day again this year. This will be the 7th annual event. Was last year we drew 100 volunteers on a beautiful 80-degree day, and this year we're spot on. It actually falls on Earth Day, April 22nd. It's a Saturday. Over the years, volunteers have removed over 200 cubic yards of garbage along our main travelways here in Waterford Township. 200 cubic yards of garbage on a one-day-a-year event. That is huge. I give kudos to the residents of Waterford Township for volunteering and helping out to make this a beautiful place to live, work, and play. Sign up for 2023 Earth Day on Saturday, again, April 22nd, at waterfordmi.gov/Earth Day, or call the Waterford Township Supervisor's office at 248-674-6201. I gave your number, not mine. Waterford Regional Fire Department responded to 13,500 calls in 2022. Raised $6,000 for the burn camp, $9,000 for breast cancer awareness. New vehicles and equipment, 22 cardiac devices jobs, a light, cardiac monitors, new fire engine, and an ambulance remount. For 2023, we're going to hire 3 additional firefighters, extend service contracts in the city of Pontiac and the city of Lake Angeles, and we will purchase another fire engine and do another ambulance remount for 2023, and that's all budgeted for. Waterford Police Department hiring initiative to recruit certified police officers and academy graduates. We hired 8 new police officers, 3 dispatchers, hired a crime analyst to meet growing need for data analysis, and Jack Sutherland was promoted to deputy chief. Jack, congratulations. Police and Fire S&D allowed replacement of 5 vehicles for the police department. Again, I thank the voters of Waterford Township for making it happen, because without your support, that can't happen. So it's important and critical to keep our first responders up and running in a way that they can serve us the best they can. Capital improvements at headquarters, carpet replacement, remodeling to create more office space. and received $250,000 federal grant, $250,000. That's another $250,000 on the $750,000 that we got. That's an even million right there in federal grants we've got. And again, that's to complete the Emergency Operations Dispatch Center. And you want to talk about state of the art. You have time, stop in or talk to Chief Underwood so he can show you the dispatch center. That place is unbelievable. Waterford ranks 22nd on the list of safest municipalities in the Michigan population of 50,000 residents or more, and we're in the top 25 percentile nationwide. And again, that's because of the people that live here, that care about the community, they're dedicated to the community, and the Waterford Police Department for making sure it happens that way. Again, give it up to the PD one time. Our Detective Bureau investigated 1,564 cases in 2022. Patrol responded to 39,862 calls, okay? That's an average of 109 calls a day. So please, when you leave here today, drive careful, no accidents, because that'll add to that call volume that we don't, because police are going to have to respond to it. So that's 198, 36 per shift. Dispatch took 66,672 calls for service. That's 183 a day. They just went up to PD, and 61 per shift. So that's amazing, the amount of calls that come in there on a daily basis and how our first responders respond to them. Police staff training included active shooter control scale training at Township Hall with 25 outside organizations and municipalities. That was a wonderful event. And again, like I said, I have been a hunter, shot guns all my life, and I'm telling you what, when you hear guns go off inside of a building, it made me hair stand up on the back of my neck. I've never heard that in my life. It was wonderful training to get educated on. It's something you hope you never experience in your lifetime, but it's better to know and be prepared for it. It was a wonderful event. Like I said, there was 25 other organizations and municipalities were there to join in with us. And department-wide training, American Sign Language for police officers, and anti-bias training, all the other training that goes on with that, and the CRP-AED research classification. PD continues their professional, community, and charitable partnership with local, county, and state organizations and at the federal level. Police and fire department every year go together on the Saturday closest to 9/11 for the longest breakfast table, and that raises money for police and fire charities. So then look at that Saturday, come on out and join in again. The money goes to a good cause. 51st District Court Treatment Programs earned state certification, graduated 24 participants from the court this year. Participants compiled 1,887 hours worth of community service. Again, made a mistake, paid for it, went to the training, donated back to your community, and you're armed with your life. That's a wonderful program, and I've worked with a lot of those people in basket packing, you know, for the Christmas baskets every year. So again, they're just, a lot of them, they come back the next year and do it again. They love it. Community service program assisted parks and rec with events, utilized skilled trade workers to make repairs at the farm, harvested 1.5 tons of food from the Hathaway Community Garden over there that were donated to local charitable organizations and people in need. So, again, that's our people that, like I said, made a mistake and they're giving back to the community. So kudos to them. Development services, building department, continue to increase in development, permitting, inspections, and code enforcement. We took down another 23 abandoned, dilapidated, condemned structures in Waterford Township last year. Built 32 brand new homes, 5 new commercial buildings, streamlined business registration programs, implemented 23 zoning ordinance changes to modernize the development patterns. And that's exactly how many board meetings we have a year, is 23. So, Jeff, you had an average of 1 per meeting there. Good job. Short-term rentals must now register and be inspected under our current township rental ordinance. So the Airbnbs, short-term rentals, whatever you want to call them, they have to comply and follow the same rules and regulations. Brownfield program, streamlined to assist redevelopment, which is over the Dayton Freight site over there, where the old Pontiac driving is on Dixie near Telegraph. CDB funding helped rehab 12 homes for emergency repairs to low-income families. And the way CDBG works, I won't say it sarcastically, but you know, we talk about government giveaway programs. CDBG, they take this government-funded money that goes towards helping somebody out to get a project fixed, whether it's a roof, whether it's a furnace, a water heater, whatever it is, then that goes as a lien against that property. When that property sells, okay, that money comes back to the municipality for us to do it again, and that's a wonderful thing. It's repetitive. It goes out, it comes back, it goes out, it comes back. It's a wonderful program, and we utilize it to help many, many people in this community. Clerk's office held 4 elections last fall, and last year, including 2 special elections, registered over 5,000 new voters, trained 250 election workers, established pre-processing for absentee ballots, and completed the redistricting. And again, that's, we were talking about redistricting earlier. Everything got redistricted, so there'll be that taken care of. And then we got another election coming up next year, so we'll start the process all over. DPW joint water assistance program to help low-income residents. Skated technology upgrades for treatment facilities. We have 2 of our sewer lift stations. Main water repair at Cass Lake Road. Water main replacement on Huron Street and replaced the retaining wall at Williams Lake Road, Dixie, from the Drayton Plains Cemetery. That looks very, very nice right there. They did there. The Main Street water tower, which is on Walton Boulevard, will be redone this year. $1.2 million ARPA funds. As I said earlier, goes towards that. And then other ongoing upgrades to water treatment facilities and sewer mains continue. Library does some new building upgrades in 2022. New carpet in multiple locations. If you haven't been there, you got to go to the children's area. It's phenomenal. New furniture teen area, refurbished quiet study area, and a new vehicle wrap for homebound delivery man, which I passed yesterday. It looks great. 2023 library updates, additional facility upgrades, including bathroom remodels. Working on a plan to reopen on Fridays now that the village has been reapproved. And strategic technology upgrades, including internet and security. Parks and Recreation, one of my favorite organizations in the township, continues to provide a variety of recreation events, athletics, parks, and facilities to meet the ongoing needs of the Waterford community. New playground in the Rotary Park, a partnership with Rotary Waterford and many generous donors. That is beautiful, that park is. And I can't believe they had found time enough to get a picture without kids on it. Every time I go by, there's kids all over it. So that's the park must have been closed that day so they can get a picture. And then again, we were awarded a $26,000 grant. Allison Swanson wrote for that, for the Oakland County, for the water, for the Waterford Rec Center to replace our cooktops and ovens, and also on the pavilion area to replace the concrete floor out there and the walkways up to it, because that's uneven, trip hazards and whatnot. We're tired of driving it down. It's time to grind it down, it's time to get it replaced, to get it up. And then strategic planning for $1 million of ARPA funds that we allocated to Parks and Rec for all of our parks, maintenance, repairs, and improvements. So again, that takes us at the end of our long so you understand, we eliminated 22 slides and 8 minutes of speech. So this is better than what it was. But again, I thank everybody so much for coming out here today, because without the people of this community, which is the backbone of everything, these things would never happen. So again, thank all of you. Have a safe trip out there, and remember, let's not overwhelm the Waterford Police Department with calls for accidents on the icy roads.
Thank everybody for attending today. One of these years I'll get you out on time. There's just so much great news to share. So I would also like to give a special thanks to Austin Cruz from Iron Goat Media, who did the photography for today, and Gary Allison from our cable municipal channel for recording this for later broadcasts for our community members to access. And we hope to see you at many of our upcoming events. drive safely as the weather gets rough today, and we will see you next year. Thank you again for your time.